Okay, guys, I'm Shake Seeking, and welcome back to the channel. And we're going to keep on rising or ascending. So let's go ahead and finish looking at this. I'm trying to keep track because these videos have been done sometimes minutes, sometimes hours within, but I'm just trying to just purge the information. So I think we stopped right about here somewhere about with child. Okay, so it is the hypothetical source of evidence for its existence is provided by Sanskrit, or the Janiti, begets, bears, offspring, children, person, birth, origin, birth, they bear, Greek, Jin, something, time. To become, happen, race, kind, mankind, birth, offspring, stock, again, stock, and then they would trade. Are they trading you on the stock market? Is that what we're really talking about when we were talking about the slave trade in the beginning? Could we end up going there again with these birth certificates and these things? And that's what I'm saying. What's the use of even having it? You know, like we're changing things on them in order to send them to the same people that have been altering your parents' information and people's information for generations. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see why we still want any part of it. You know, and I think when people say separate, I just think that maybe it doesn't have to be, I mean, it can be, you know, but can we just come to a conclusion that maybe we just need to deal with each other? You know what I'm saying? Come out of the system together. Start to realize these things and pull away from them together. You can do that right from where you're standing. You know, do we really need these things? You know, you're still... and I'm not saying that's not for everybody. Please don't think that I'm trying to say that. Some of us are vibrating on a different, level, still in the same range, though. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I'm just more a being that's more attached to the feelings, introvert, being someone that just can feel things, and I'm just more on that like spiritual realm. And then some people are more on that other, course where they know more about those type of things. And maybe it is the right thing to do, but I just say if they're the enemy, why do I want to redo anything and send it to them? They can just electronically change things as they please, But somebody did say something about keeping your own records, and that would be great too. But then again, I really don't think that if things boil down to what we fear, well, I don't fear it anymore, but to that extent. But if things boil down to them just going crazy and just taking it, they're not going to stop, just like they're not stopping to see if you're a black doctor or a dentist or whatever, or a pastor, when they pull you over and do these things, you look like, I guess they think you look like a duck, walk like a duck. That's what it is. So I doubt that we can trust these people to take any of this stuff, and I think sometimes we're getting sucked up into that part, and then we're losing the natural energy, the flow that's supposed to be going on with us, that we supposed to be just not even just acting like whatever they're doing don't even matter, but still paying attention while we start to operate on our own level. So let's see. The procreative. Okay, so pro, that just makes me think before. Okay, so anyways, this total, whatever, spirit, the innate quality, inborn character, a shoot, a bud, and that's what I'm saying, like plants bud. Like in Genesis, people think we're talking about plants. But then again, we're using this for talking about people right now. So embryo, germ. Okay, so I hate when I be on and then I get distracted so many times that I'm off. And again, it says Thailand, Thai from indigenous name of inhabitants. Again, they would be the offspring of somebody else. If they're indigenous, more than likely. And then Uganda, indigenous people's name. Again, where are the Aborigines of Africa? I like to compare that then, because there's all kind of different terms for whatever. But I mean, I think I said Aboriginal. So anyway, we're gonna go back to this, and then let me just try to speed this up. Get back on track. I probably got another 20 minutes before I have to do something else. So I think what we were doing was looking at the fact of these are the generations of the heavens and the earth. When they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, okay? And in the Living Bible, it says, here's the summary of the events in the creation of the heavens and the earth when the Lord God made them. Okay, so that's what that was. Okay, so now we're going to say, okay, so let's go into this Living Bible because it's looking more interesting, okay? Now it says, there were no plants. Again, what does somebody do if they want to infiltrate or penetrate or get into something and plant something? They plant, they put something on you so that you can go in there and then, get some stuff and bring it back. Okay, so then, again, there's no plants. And I highly doubt that we're talking about any kind of, again, real plants from outside, okay? It says, or grain sprouting up across the earth at first. So again, this was all the alpha. This was all the beginning. And the thing is, it's sad that you just don't see that because this should be an automatic, like, moment of empowerment to recognize that this is what we're talking about, okay? So for the Lord God hadn't sent any rain, again, the Lord God hadn't sent any rain, so that means that he hadn't sent anyone to rule, okay? It says rain here with the R-A-I-N, but again, common sense is telling me that that might be something that might be thrown off, okay? Throwing us off because the rest of this explains something different to me. So, nor was there anyone to farm. Again, planters who came here at a certain time. Okay, let's see if we can find out something. I just want to try something really quick. Okay, so John Rolfe, a settler from Jamestown, was the first colonist to grow tobacco in North America. Okay, well, let's just see what that is. Maybe it's around 1600s, because we're still around the 6th and 7th day, possibly when we're talking about this. Let's see, and then just that didn't give me exactly what I wanted, but let's just see if we can find something. So it's the planter class. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep this in mind. Maybe that was a better way to word it. Known alternatively in the United States as the Southern aristocracy. Aristocrat. Okay, hold on. Aristocracy. I'm just thinking aristocrat. Okay, so was a socio-economic caste. So a group. Again, here we go with the caste system again. Let's do it. This tells you and it proves to you without a shadow of a doubt what we're talking about. Okay. Okay, so again, if we look at this and we look at the fact that they had to um, first get the priests and the teachers here to teach you something different and try to show you the way, and then you have the warriors and in the second grade rulers that came in to start branching off the land and settling on it. Okay, they're the ones probably that built the firmament. Okay, with the help of these people. And there's a wider range. You can look at it a little bit deeper. It includes a couple more different groups or variations of ways to say it. And then here you go with your farmers. Okay, this is making me thinking about the feet of the grass and clay or something. Well, okay, let's not get sidetracked. See, this is what happens. The farmers, okay, the traders and the merchants. Again, these are the people. And we're talking about, while we're talking about stock and all this other stuff, these are the people here. And then your laborers, which would be the people that they would prefer to do the work, but they have to keep the outcasts or the ones that went in exile down here, even below this class. And again, this is why they can bring people from different places here and give them your jobs and everything. But then do we want to even worry about getting back in here, or do we want to just go ahead and operate on this level? Okay. So, okay. Let's go back. So that's a part of their system. That's why and this is why that pyramid is on your dollar bill. Okay, more than likely. Okay, so it says a caste. A caste is a form of social stratification characterized by an endogamy, hereditary transmission of a style of life which often includes an occupation, ritual status in a hierarchy, and a customary social interaction, and an exclusion base, okay, that's you, on a cultural nation of purity and pollution, okay? There you go. So it says of Pan-Americans, okay? So then who is the God? Who is Pan, and whose God is that? And just wondering, okay? So that dominated 17th and 18th century. Again, are we in the seventh day? Again, I think when we're talking about 17th century, we're talking about the 1600s. I think it goes back. Why? I don't know. I think, but that's what I think. So agricultural market through the forced labor, okay? Slavery is a system in which the principles in the property and law are applied to people, allowing individuals to buy, sell, and sell or other individuals as a de jure. Sounds kind of like form of property. A slave is unable to withdraw unilateral from such an arrangement and works without remuneration. I don't know. Again, you guys can go in depth on your own. Okay, the slave trade, they make sure they're trying to throw this in here. Okay, permitted planters access to inexpensive labor for the planting and harvesting. And see, this is the thing, showing them how to do things, what the people did here, and the natives and the, I don't know about the aboriginals, okay? Maybe that's why they went into hard, supposedly, slave labor, okay? So, tobacco, all these things here. Okay, so these planters, similarities in manners and customs of the British nobility, again, whom many planters were related, okay, again. Do you see where this is going? So, again, so we're probably around there when we're talking about the planters that came, okay? Okay, so no plants, okay, or grain sprouted up across the earth at first. So there was nobody here but the people, but the earth, the original, earliest people. For the Lord God hadn't sent any rain. He hadn't sent anyone to reign. Okay, we know that has a dual meaning. You be the judge. Nor was there anyone to farm the soil. We just read about that in that little segment. You can apply it if you need. And it says, the time came when the Lord God formed a man's body from the dust of the ground. So again, dust and ground, what are we still talking about here? And then he formed a man's body. Let's go ahead and look up body, because we know how many different ways that we can use that. We know how many ways we can use that. The trunk of a man. Okay, well, men don't only have a abdominal or trunk area, or breast, physical structure of human or animal, material frame, material existence of a human, main or principal part of anything related to High German, whatever. Let's see, the word has died out, but in English, body remains as a great and important word. A person, a being, a human being, from the 1300s, meaning a main part of anything. So the main part of anything was late. Okay, so reference to vehicles or vassals, maybe. From 1580 as a part of a dress which covers the body. So again, to dress it. Okay. From 1590, a main part of a group, any number of individuals spoken of collectively. So that's what I'm saying about your government and all the workings and the makings of it that we already discussed, that give them the power to get into your mental, to lead you into some of these mannerisms or some of these things, okay? Contrasted with souls, and just like we were just talking about souls and that other thing, okay? Just like we say celebrities sell their souls, and then we just go reaching after them, so you end up doing the same damn thing, okay? And worshiping them, okay? And then this is what I was talking about, this whole body or corpse. Meaning corpse, dead body, transferring to matter generally in the middle. Okay, so the nation, the state, the whole body of people living under an organization or a government. Okay, first recorded in the 15th century. Okay, so the nation, the state, the whole body of people. Okay, so I guess that would be talking about indigenous peoples or something. Living under. Okay, I guess it's when you talk about politics. Okay, so okay, right. So let's keep going. He hadn't caused the rain, nor was there anyone to farm the soil or till the ground or whatever. Okay, so there was not anyone to till the ground, and that's why it's telling different things of what to do with the earth, or the soil, or the land, or the dry land. They try to use variations to confuse you, and what to do with the heavens, and what to do with the waters. Okay? Because the heavens will already been planted here now. This is why they write their family tree in front of these Bibles. Okay? So they're already now a substance thing that they can be stable on this land. So the firmament was complete. Okay, and then they needed somebody to then be like or govern the people that they brought in, or the people that they created. Okay, their creation that was on top of the nation that was already here. Okay. Okay, so however, water welled up from the ground at certain places and flowed across the land. So again, water welled up. We're talking about them getting more stronger, the population growing, okay, and then spreading, okay. The time came, and we're talking about this is what happened right before they started with their amalgamation laws, okay. Once they seen enough, then they created a law, because they were scared because of what was going on, okay? And that it might revert back to the earth or the darkness, okay? This is probably what has to do with that stuff that happened even in the 1800s and stuff, when it was talking about the overthrowing the last portion of the black Republicans in the South, okay? So when all those people were murdered, we'll talk about that later. The time came when the Lord God formed a man's body from the dust of the ground and breathed into it the breath of life, and the man became a living person. So again, what are we talking about? Are we talking about how they say black means you're dead by law? Or are we talking about how they get to be other groups of people, and that means that they're living? But again, we're calling ourselves something that makes us a corpse or a dead or like aboriginal, to be removed, okay? So let's see, because I think I wanted to bring that up. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Okay. So from the beginning, okay. And then it says this is from AB, off, away from. So again, that's being removed. You're off. You're being sent off. Okay. Okay. So arise, a commencement, beginning, source, descent. And then descending is to start to fall from your lineage. Okay, birth, all these things, I guess. Arise, rise, be born, be fruitful and multiply. Okay, be descended or come down from, receive life. Okay, so now these people are ready to receive their own life, and then they can now dispense the light or the good that God thought was good, which be somebody other than the dirt that they came from. Okay, and now they're all looking at you like they better than you when they don't know who the hell their mama is and their dad. So, extended 1789, natives of other countries, Europeans have colonized, especially the Aboriginal inhabitants of Australia. But we already just talked about how it was being used for people way before then. So they're leaving out others, like the Aborigine of America, on purpose, obviously. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden to the east, and placed in the garden the man that he formed. Okay. Okay. Now listen to this real close. Let's just go back to that. Wait, where's that older one I just seen? No, we'll just use this one. Okay, so then again, here is your Virginia, and here's your Maryland. Your Virgin Mary. And here's your birth of a nation, their nation. Maybe this is the little plot of land that we agreed to, and they ended up coming in and taking it all. Because I think it said you have to invite them in, and this is why a portion in the Bible, not saying this is factual, but it says something about don't deal with the people that's coming in, or they're going to basically come in and take over and come up real high and bring you down real low. Okay? So let's keep going. So let's see where the White House is. Map. Oh, and then here go that river too. So again, this may not be what we're talking about. Again, I just like to bring things up because I just guess I like to, because sometimes it comes back around and then feeds it. Okay, so how if we're trying to think, we're paying attention to what's going in and what's coming, what's going on, and they just make this river here, like we were just reading about, that feeds, or just like how it is saying, to come, the water welled up on the ground in certain places and flowed across the land. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how stuff just be looking like that. Okay, but again, yes, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Then you can remove that ab and become the origine. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and then the Lord planted all sorts of beautiful trees in the garden, because now they have already done all the work over here in Genesis 1. And they were producing the choicest fruit. Okay? Any vegetable produce useful to humans or animals, fruit eaten as dessert, okay? A delight, so I'm pretty sure it made God happy. To proceed to, again, go over you, okay, while you've been sitting stagnant, and then produce, fruit, crop, vegetables, grain. We're going to find it. Labor, the fruit of one's, okay, the classic sense, preserve and fruits of one's labor, the soil, okay, income and agricultural products. And if you're chattel, or your cattle, or they're looking at you as sheep or sheeple, or they're looking at you as animals or beasts, then again, revenue or profit from the soil. The profit. They've been profiting from you, and now they don't need you no more. That's what they think, and this is where we're going to go wrong. And this is when that energy is going to step in. So, hence, profit, pro, okay? The classical sense of preserved fruit of one's labor, meaning offspring. Again, here are we are. I told you we're gonna find it. Progeny, child. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. That of any consequence, outcome, or result from the 14th century or the fourth day, meaning odd person, eccentric. Okay, that of male homosexual is from 1930. Oh, well, okay, that was kind of funny, but not okay. It's not funny. Okay, so the term also is noted in 1931 as tramp. Oh, slang for a girl or a woman or a woman willing to oblige. Okay, let's see. Easy picking. Okay, so let's see. It forms all of the parts of, okay, fruit, crop, okay, possess, okay, and then produce. Develop, proceed, extend, lead, or bring forth, draw out, okay, figuratively, to promote, empower, stretch out, extend, before, forth. Okay, hence, in front of. That's where everybody in all of these people that come here after you, this is where they are. To bring, lead. And they're all leading you astray, especially the ones that they have in Hollywood or Hollywood or Hollyweird. Things or things produced. Again, the creation, hence anything that's created. If they're going to go ahead and create a nation on top of a nation, then that would be their creation. Okay? And this is why they all do somewhat fine, but even though we're all enslaved, we're given a perception that they're doing so much better, and you can see where you are. Producer, one who produces, that's funny. That's how they do in Hollywood. Okay? That forbidden fruit. Whole bunch of trannies, too. In politics and in your entertainment industry. And you don't even know. And somebody try to tell you, you're going to get mad at them instead of doing your own research. And originally, what do you think about those statues? I was looking at some old, like supposedly Greek statues and carvings and stuff like that, and how a lot of these men that clearly look like men had breasts, and they always have that little thing wrapped around their waist with a slip of it hanging down by the Adonis belt area, okay, where it's kind of like they're teasing you because you're looking at breasts thinking this is a woman and it's actually not once you reveal what's going on. You did? Okay. So one who produces, okay, let's keep going. Mass produce, back formation, okay. Reproduce, and that's replenish, okay, too. But that reminds me of replenishing. Where do we go? Okay, to produce again. This could possibly be talking about the 6th day. Okay. Let's see what happened in the 6th day. Okay. So this is right before the 6th day. I'll just read between the 5th and 6th. And God said, let the earth bring forth every kind of animal, cattle, reptiles, wildlife, and every kind. Again, keep in mind that we're maybe not talking about animals here. And it was so. God made all sorts of animals, wild animals, okay, and cattle or chattel, and reptiles, again, the serpent people. And God was pleased with what he had done. Then God said, let us make a man, someone like ourselves, to be the master mason, kind of like George Washington, okay, and those others that came after, to be the master of all life upon the earth. So that's all life. That's all indigenous people. Remember, it says aboriginals, natives, and the other ones are included in that. And that's where we go back to this whole thing right here. And we have the these people, okay, the bosses that are still at the top of that type of pyramid. And then you have your laborers, okay. These are the people, again, that they bring in from everywhere else and get all kind of grants and loans to go to school. And then you have the other people that are cast out. Just like he cast them out of the garden, okay? So we just look in here, okay? So it says, okay. Okay, and God was pleased with what he had done. Then God said, let us make man. So I'm thinking, I've always been thinking that, the Lord God came in on the 2nd chapter, but there's a possibility he could have came in right before we get into Genesis 2. Because this God is talking to somebody else. Okay? So, again, at the end of the 5th day. Okay, so then we already read all that. Okay, and then we said, and God said, bring forth every kind of animal, cattle. Okay, and God made all sorts of animals and cattle and reptiles, and God was pleased with that, what he had done. Then God said, let us make man, someone like ourselves, to be the master of all, upon all life. So that's all life. Now there's your living creature or being that we're going to talk about in the next chapter. Remember, this is just chunk. It's all piled up. Okay? And it says, to be the master of all life upon the earth. So all the people upon the earth. And then you're talking about all the people in the skies. And still, I don't know, because even I just think head or the government or, the top of the temple, right? When I'm reading that, but it also And then it says in the sea, so that would be the waters or the people that came across the waters, or we're talking about, then that was separated where the inhabitants, and then the maritime law reminds me of the waters also, and then the admiralty, of course, would be representing the skies. But it also shows how you have your army that does their work, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when it has to do with dealing with the land, and then you have your Air Force when it has to do with skies, and then you have your again your Navy when it comes to the sea. So there's several ways that I'm seeing this work. Okay, so God made man like his maker. Okay, like God did God make man, and man, okay, like God, okay? So we could stop here because a lot of y'all just might as well jump on off right here because I told you where I'd be going with this one. So God made man like his maker. And remember we were talking about whether they were, unless they were androgynous beings, okay? So if it ain't nothing on earth that he ain't created, and we know that some people are born with things wrong, or we would consider not the way that's more common, okay? Like God, and you see all these Greek goddess and gods that look like you can't really tell because it's very masculine features, but they have breasts, so on, big, very big calves and a strong jawline and all this stuff, but then they have feminine hips sometimes and things like this, okay? So if I lose you, I lose you. I'm just speaking my piece. So man-made, and again, I'm not telling you what it is, what it ain't. I'm just telling you what it looked like to me. So, and God, okay, let's see. So God made man like his maker. Like God did God make man. Man and maid did he make them. Okay? He made them man and maid. Female and male. We got this whole transgender thing going on. We got this whole... Listen to me now. Let's read it in the King James Version. Let's read it in, okay? Let's read it in there. So God, okay, so all the creeping thing that creepeth on the earth. So he said, okay, let's see. And God made, this is from the same chapter, Genesis 1 and 25 in the King James. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind and the cattle after their kind. Okay, so he made the beast of the earth after his kind and the cattle after their kind. So let's just look at something because we know we like to say we're in this beast system or in the belly of the beast. Okay. Excuse me, 1200. One of the lower animals. Again, could this be these people, the Shudras? Okay. I'm just asking. Especially a 4-footed animal. Again, we can go right back to all of these deities. We can look into that. We can also look at heredity and heraldry. And again, coat of arms and crest and all that. Also a marvelous creature, a monster, mermaids, wolves, satyr. Okay, so all this other stuff. Beast of the apocalypse. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. Has that ever already happened? In a sense. Okay. A brutish, stupid man. Animal, wild beast, figuratively fool, idiot. And think about those images of those people that had the long white beards and the hair, and they were crawling on all fours, didn't know what to do. How the Indians say that they had to take care of these people and show them the ropes. They didn't know how to plant nothing, didn't know how to do nothing. Wild animals, okay, which unknown origin. Again, we always ask, where did some of these people come from? So if you're an indigenous person, even if you're very fair, we can see where you might have come from, but who did these people that put themselves way up on top come from? What are they? And that's why they can't commingle with you, but instead of looking at it in some kind of weird way, you worship these idols. So a wild creature, okay? Let's see. Wild beast, South African Dutch steer cattle. Bestial, okay? Beast like stupid, like a beast, below the dignity of a human, in English, 14th century, and just beast. Oh, when the beast of the book of Revelations was, okay, see, we're talking about something like that. And then an animal and sentient living creature, including humans. Do you see what I'm saying? In the fourth day, what was going on in the fourth day? Go ahead and look. And then tell me we can't be talking about animals. Living being, being which breathes. Put the breath in them, didn't he? Didn't he? Put the breath in them? Of the neuter of animals. And here we go talking about this neuter again. Here we go talking about this. And then if you're neutering someone, and we may be talking about androgynous beings in this chapter, what do you get when you castrate a young male before he hits puberty? And then you grow them up in the outskirts, and then you bring them back and introduce them to Hollywood. And now, since we have the technology and everything to do what we please, that a regular everyday person can go and change everything on their body right now and afford to do so and look just like something else and fool the everyday people, then what do you think that they can do in Hollywood? And just because we think that some of these people have babies, why don't never they want to show their stomach with you? Why don't never show it when the baby is moving? Why don't never do anything else drastic, like show us anything more? Photo shoots with Photoshop. Now that we're able to ask these questions, there's so many illusional things that they can use to alter things. They can put a woman in a movie and make her look pregnant as all hell, but you think that if they're going to use one of their best stars, okay, or their celebrities in order to get your attention and keep you distracted and keep you sleeping, you think that they can't use the same thing to create one of these and make you think that one of these things is pregnant? You better get out of here. If you ain't been in the bed with one of the, and I'm not talking about just the scragglers at the bottom. I'm talking about if you ain't been in the bed with a A-lister, then don't talk to me about this. I haven't been there either, but what I'm just trying to tell you is neither one can say. So I have the right to speak this and say what I think and what I've seen, and you can do the same. So, okay, living of the air from, okay, breathe soul. So again, are we talking about when he breathed into him and made him a living soul? Okay, and then what? What is this? Breathe, compare deer, a rare word in English before the 16th century and not in the King James 1611, commonly only of non-human creatures. Again, what is a human? Who is a human? Mankind. What are we really talking about? Okay, it drove out the older beasts. Are we talking about the antediluvian people, or the people of the Antilles, or the people of all these other? Okay, so brutish, and these people act accordingly. Okay, medieval treaties on beasts. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a break. Wait a minute, I think I left my phone in there. I just don't know where it is right now, so I'll just finish this part. Okay. So he took from the dust. Wait, we're in the. I said let's do the King James. Okay. So let's see. This is right underneath the fifth day. Okay. So it says, and God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And he saw it was good. And God said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness. Go ahead and take a look at some of them queens and them kings from back in the day and tell me is it not questionable? Just because they had those big old dresses on don't mean a damn thing. You go back and look at some of the first ladies supposedly of the founding fathers and some of the first presidents, and you tell me it ain't questionable. Again, neither you or I know because we were not there. So before you get in your feelings, you have to eliminate your feelings if you're coming on this channel, because I'm going to just give it to you how I feel. I really don't care about what nobody think about me. The only people I care about knowing what is the ones that can already see this, that this is just feeding and dropping seeds, okay? So, what it say? And God made the beasts of the earth. This can't be regular people like me and you that are able to do the things that women are supposed to do, and then turn around and treat people like they are. And we have given them too much time and too much of our head space to continue this way, and then wonder why things are the way that they are. After his kind, and it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind. Okay? And everything that creepeth on the earth after his kind, and he saw it was good. Okay? Property. Cattle, property of any kind. People too, including money, land, income. This is all your shit. Property, stock. What do you think about the slave trade? They still trading you on the stock. They still trading you on the stock and your children when you give them a birth certificate. Know that. Literally, of the head. Again, foreheads, where something flows through. And what are we going to talk about over here in this Bible? The Garden of Eden, and Lord planted all seven. Okay. And let's see, the tree, a river from the land of Eden flowed through afterwards. Okay, and I just showed y'all that river. That's questionable. It might be something to look into 4 branches. Okay. It calls it branches on that one. And then in the King James Version, it says 4 heads. What do you see here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's how it goes. Okay? Okay? Okay, and then it says, and God made the beast. Okay, we did that already. And God said, let us make man in our own image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth. Those are your 4 caste systems. What am I? Someone's calling me. We'll take a break.